everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Oracle Soul podcast. This is episode 3, and I am your host, Sarah. And as always, we have my wonderful co host, Estelle Larsen. Today, we are again going to pull a lesson card for the mass consciousness. And we might dive a little bit into stargates or colors and frequency. We'll just see where the conversation goes. But that's our very rough plan for today. Estelle, do you have any reflections from the last couple of episodes?
Yes. Just had the brain freeze. Yeah, it seems people really do resonate with these conversations, and that they're much needed conversations, particularly our humour. I think that absolutely resonated with folks and reminded them of the lighter side of life, considering the doom machine is just churning in hyperdrive. So looking forward to what we share this week.
Yeah, me as well. I'm just sorting through to see which card is going to come up today. As you said, last week we had humor. Let's see. It must be at the bottom of the pile. Okay, so it's somewhere in here. Is it this card? No.
The right one will come up.
Yep. So it was like the third from the bottom. Okay, so this card is... Oh yeah, do the drum roll. Not very good at doing the drum roll, but this card is... Oops. Whoops. Sorry, I will get better at this, everybody. Oh, I disappeared. Gratitude? Is that what that says? Yeah. Also a green background, but with some purple and stuff in there. And actually, the pendant in the middle looks very similar to your necklace.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Labradorite.
Labradorite. Oh, okay, cool. So gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. Any initial thoughts on gratitude while I pull up the lesson?
Gratitude over the last several weeks has been quite the feature for me. Doing other courses and getting to bear witness to other people's lives, it reminds you to be grateful for what you have in your life. We can get really bogged down in what's going on mine, I'm not getting enough abundance, or, my relationships aren't the best. And then you bear witness to others and you realize what's going on in your world is minuscule and things aren't that important that you're getting upset or weighed down by when you hear what other people are wading through. So it has really made me very, very grateful for what I have in life.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it kind of falls in line with the humor card last week as well, where it said something along the lines of happy people attract happy people. And so when you express gratitude, you're putting that vibration and that frequency out there. And so you're just going to attract more of that as well.
Yeah, because we're so not self-absorbed, but we live in a micro world, which is our own world. And you really do forget there's others that really are wading through stuff, and the stuff that you think is important or huge, in reflection, it's not. So it makes you grateful. So your gratitude for life and appreciation for what you do have grows. And in turn, that allows you to experience humor, fun, the inner child, everything. It's almost like a mathematics. this plus that is going to equate to this, which is a more elevated life in which to live.
Absolutely. Beautifully said. And the whole time I'm just thinking about how grateful I am at the moment that I'm getting like pretty much full night's sleeps despite having a 3 month old. And thinking back, reflecting back on when I first brought her home, and it was like every hour having to get up and feed, and every the first few days just seemed like one giant day because you didn't really have a night's sleep. I didn't even sleep in my own bed. Even after coming home from the hospital, didn't even sleep in my own bed. It was always sleeping on the couch because the baby was going to wake up at any time, and then you wanted to have everything right there to take care of. So being at this position at the moment is just very, very grateful. That's for sure.
Oh, you're very spoiled. Little one is very considerate because not every mum gets with a 3 month old to have good solid sleep.
Good solid sleep and pretty much on a routine and a schedule. Like she knows what's coming, and we just keep rolling with that. So like even last
Little,
night she had stayed up a little bit later than she normally does. She normally like has the start of her night, I guess, around like 8 o'clock, but she just didn't want to miss out on anything, so she's pushing herself to stay awake, and she stayed awake until like 9:30 or so. And I thought, oh, she'll sleep longer in the morning. I'll just let her sleep. And I have to get up, to deal with feeding her and stuff. We're getting prepared to feed her, and went to go get her, and she was waking up. She's like, okay, this is the time we always wake up, so here we go.
you're very spoiled.
And I'm very
Excuse
grateful
me.
to be spoiled. Okay, so let's see what the lesson book has to say, and we'll go from there. This soulful card is telling you that it's time to stop, close your eyes, and become mindful of the incredible gift the universe has bestowed upon you in offering valuable and unique lessons tailored especially for your soul. This is an important reminder to express your appreciation for what has been, what will be, and most important, who you are. It is time to acknowledge to the universe how thankful you are for being provided these opportunities for insights and understanding. It is also time for your soul to share recognition of all those loved ones in your life, upon the earth or in spirit, who have helped form who you are now. You may even find it helpful to begin to write a list of all the things you are grateful for in your life. When you put forth the contemplation and the energy to do this, it awakens thoughts that acknowledge your connection to all that is. By bringing yourself into a state of gratitude, it not only has a transforming effect on the energy in the sacred space surrounding you, but also brings about an overall sense of health and well-being. Couldn't said it better, huh?
Perfectly worded.
Yeah,
Yeah. The the words are just floating around in my mind because it's pretty much what I was saying. Exactly. Be grateful for who you are, those that are in your life and are part of that path that you follow, even if it's a little bumpy or disruptive. Be grateful to those that are on that path with you, even if you think they're a bit of a roadblock. You're meant to have that experience. So have gratitude to them, irregardless.
absolutely. Absolutely. I wonder where gratitude falls on the frequency scale.
I personally, I would rate it in the top five. If there's a top five,
Well, is humor one of the top five? Maybe that's what we're working on here.
ah, Yeah, it would need to be. I do, my personal belief, number one is authentic because you can't have any of the others. Or you can, but not to their maximum if first you're not authentic in every aspect of who you are. Then comes love. So for me, it's gratitude, love,
Truth or
truth.
trust, maybe?
Oh, I'm getting lost. I would say authentic, love, truth, gratitude,
Humor.
humor.
Yeah.
Because when you have gratitude and you're authentic with your love, then compassion follows suit. It's a part of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man. Is there anything else to say on gratitude? I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about that one. Other than I like that the lesson also mentions to show gratitude for those not only here but those that might have also passed on as well, because they have shaped who you are today. So
Uh, yes, yes. The gratitude to those that are having either another life or they're in a holding place until they figure out what form they want to come back into, should be forever grateful. Again, even if they gave you experiences that you think weren't the best, you wouldn't be who you are now if it was not for them. And I think when there are people that have passed on, everything dissolves what happened in the physical world. It has to for you to move on and for to allow them to move on. If it was a bad experience, still let it dissolve so they can come back and have a higher purpose. Because if you don't, I think you're restraining both growth. So again, you got to be grateful for what they gave you in this lifetime.
yeah, absolutely. And it's also kind of reassuring to know that anything that they any hardships or anything that they experience in this lifetime, that they carry the lessons with them, but they don't carry the feelings and the experience per se.
Yeah, because it's letting go and it's not about right and wrongs. It's about having learned from that experience, whether it's good, indifferent, bad, whatever. Um, yeah, you got to let it go so you both benefit and flourish.
Absolutely. So stemming off of that, so this is showing gratitude for, those that may have passed on. Um, and like you said, even if it was a bad experience, it's still taking that lesson from that. And I think that's also true for, even relationships that are still, the both entities, souls are still here on earth. And or whatever experience you may go through is to be grateful for those experiences because it does shape who you are and who you're becoming. And one of the most powerful things that I've learned on my journey that has really helped me, and of course it doesn't come easily, it does take some work and everything like that, is to have that gratitude and recognition that there is a lesson in every experience that you have on this earth. That, and when you can recognize that there is a lesson, it makes it easier to deal with the situation. And there's a common thing of, putting yourself in other people's shoes, like kind of that phrase. If anyone's ever done wrong to you, there, you can have a lot of, um, what do you call it? You might hold a grudge against them or just have, negative feelings towards them. but that actually lowers your whole vibration by holding on to any sort of guilt, or not guilt, but resentment, or um, if you begrudge them or whatnot. But recognizing that they're on their own soul journey and they have their own lessons to learn. We're kind of stemming off from last week where we're talking about connecting with our inner child. And I said that we're at our highest frequency when we are in the childlike state. Well, we are kind of all just like children, we're learning and we're growing. And if somebody has wronged you, oftentimes it's not because, you know, it's often because they have something that they haven't dealt with. They haven't learned their lesson. And so it's not actually your fault per se, which we can sometimes take that on. It's that they haven't learned their lesson. And when you can put yourself in that perspective and recognize that, it does help you move on from that situation a little bit. And
Yeah, and
I know I
you
just
both
started like
grow.
three different areas to connect all of that, but yeah.
No, but it's all growth for the soul. As we know, we are energy beings, and the experiences have all a different frequency level that we need to experience to elevate our purpose of being here. So those experiences, like as I said, whether they're good, bad, indifferent, it's kind of consensual. And I do not mean the horrific stuff. I'm just meaning general stuff. Um, they're lessons for our character.
Yeah.
So, like you said, the true essence inside, because we are almost children for the rest of our life. Even as grown adults, we can stamp our feet and have little tanties. That's to show us that we are childlike and still learning. So it's not a disgrace, it's a reminder that we are energy beings, little young, growing energy beings, even at 70. Yeah, you're still in a child learning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. You just tell me all the things that you want to get involved with, various courses you're taking and stuff. So, I mean, I genuinely believe that our entire purpose here is to learn and to grow. So,
Yeah.
you're going to be forever students, right?
Yeah, student of life, discovering, because it's all discovery.
And
You
remembering.
can remember it. Well, that is discovering your memory that we're born with. And they've tried to block us from understanding, but discovering remembrance and being grateful for being able to discover memory, DNA memory, ancestral memory, purpose memory.
Yeah. I guess I've not really thought about being grateful for remembering, but that's an interesting way to phrase that.
Well, like they say, what's our purpose? And we'll call them the dark forces, or Darth Vader, whatever. Ooh. They don't want you to remember, the ancestral knowledge and wisdom. So as we tap into it, we should be grateful.
Absolutely. And we can tap into any information that's out there.
Yeah, because when we tap into it and we show the gratitude, that's when an understanding and knowledge of topics that are deemed woo-woo and Tartarian is things like stargates, starports.
I like how you're starting to bridge into our other topic there. And
Yeah.
I was going to say, well, we also have tools that allow us to tap into all that is, and that would be our pendulums. You got yours ready? Haha.
I do.
I'm just trying to get it in a good view of the camera. I gotta shorten it up, I guess. There we go. So, just like the dowsing rods, you want to first, you want to clear the energy of your pendulum. And then you want to set the intention for it to come into balance with your energy field. And before we start asking questions, I'm not sure what questions we're going to ask today. Hopefully the rods are okay letting the pendulums taking the hot spot today. But the first thing we'll do is we'll ask each pendulum to show us what a no answer is and what a yes answer is, because I believe ours move differently. And I recommend to anyone that's working with a pendulum, or if it's the first time, to just ask the pendulum to show you a yes answer. And if it happens to move just a little bit, ask for a bigger answer or a bigger circle if it does a circle. Some people sway back and forth. It all depends on you and the pendulum. So we will ask our pendulums to please show us a yes answer. Nice and big. Okay, so mine goes counterclockwise for yes. What does yours do, Estelle?
Mine's going clockwise for
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So ours go in opposite directions, but we are giving the same answer. So it's kind of cool to show that. And Estelle, just like her rods, lots of energy, big swings. My dear pendulum, why don't you try to match Estelle's? Oh, yeah, there you go. Cool. Thank you, dear pendulums. Come back to resting point. Oh, I can command yours too. I forgot that. Okay. So now, dear pendulum, show us a no answer. And it should go in the opposite direction. Bigger answer. Bigger, bigger. Match Estelle's. Estelle's is taken off. Okay. So what kind of questions do we want to ask today, Estelle? Do we want to breach the topic of stargates, star forts? What do we want? Thank you, pendulums. Come to resting point.
Stargates in each country.
So is the question, are there stargates in every country? Okay, big answer. Well, Estelle's is having a massive swing. Mine's catching up, and it is a yes answer. I think that was kind of a given. I think it was kind of
Yeah.
obvious there are stargates in every country. Are stargates used to travel? Let's ask the pendulums to come back to resting. Are stargates used to travel between countries? Again, this is a yes answer. Wonderful. Thank you, dear pendulums. Do you have a question, Estelle?
Just wait to calm down.
Yeah, yours is like, I'm so excited to be out.
I haven't
Yeah,
played in a while.
yeah,
Excuse me, gotta
yeah. I don't
clear
know.
my
I
throat.
know it's hard to position yours because of the blurring out, but I can't see your face. There you go. I know you got
Okay.
to hold your
Yeah,
hand up higher now. I have mine, like my elbow rested on my desk and it's holding it up. I don't
yeah,
know.
I'm so short and my desk is so low.
Doesn't work
I
out.
need to, it kind of doesn't work out. Come over
Okay.
this way. How's
Yeah,
that?
that's a little
Better?
better. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, we'll have to. We should have did that before recording.
maybe if I put a few bricks, I can rest my arm.
A couple books, yeah. Yeah, you get a stack of
Uh,
books.
and the pendulum's saying yes. Okay.
Okay, for next
It's
time.
got a sense of humor.
Oh, just like the rods. Okay. Thank you, pendulum. Time to
Will,
rest.
okay. Will we reactivate the stargates?
It's a big yes, a really big yes from Estelle. um, so I watched a lady on Instagram recently, and she was talking about stargates, and she had mentioned how stargates are basically coded into our DNA. And I know we haven't talked, I think I mentioned that to you, but we haven't really spoke about that in particular. So when it's stated that the stargates are coded into our DNA, does that mean that we are able, like do we have to physically go through a stargate for it to work? You know what I mean?
So, stargate DNA's in us. That's, uh, oh, 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 I
Yeah,
don't know
right.
what to,
Don't
yeah,
know where to go
that's,
with that one. Yeah, there's so many
yeah.
directions. So, I've mentioned Stargate SG-1, the fictional show, and
Mm.
there was definitely a lot of things that resonated with that show. And one of them was even just kind of the look of the Stargate, just the big circular, or the what is it, the Chapa eye as they called it or something in the show. And
Yeah,
it
I
creates
think
this
the
wormhole.
circle is a key factor. It has to be a circle. I can't give you a factual, logical reason why I'm saying that, other than I feel that when we know what circles symbolize, frequency wise, energy wise, it has to be a circle. So if I can relate that to DNA, if we look at the structure and the shape of DNA, maybe there's a clue there.
Perhaps so. Um, Now I'm going to throw out, the DNA that we're taught in textbooks and everything is a two-stranded DNA that's coiled, and my chemical background, I can tell you which base nucleotides pair up with which ones and what kind of bonds they're forming and all of that good stuff, if any of that is even relevant. Um, do you subscribe to the multi-strands of DNA that supposedly are yet to be activated or need to be activated to reach a certain frequency, that have been silenced, so to say, within the human soul population?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I think there's a lot more to our DNA than what mainstream science wants us to believe, because they need to control and have us less informed, because the more informed we understand of our own essence and DNA, we have more power of ourselves.
absolutely. Should we ask the pendulums? Maybe we should
And
explore DNA and pendulums. With the pendulums, sorry. Okay. First question. Shall we just be.
mine,
Oh, yours needs to. Yours is so excited.
mine's saying yes, he knows. Oh, he, obviously, my pendulum's a he.
Apparently.
So I've just found out.
Funny. Okay, so I guess we'll start with the basic question. Are there 12 strands of DNA? It's a big yes for me. Okay, thank you. Gonna ask this question when yours is ready. Are there more than 12 strands of DNA? Did yours go in the opposite direction?
It's going yes.
Oh, it's going yes, there's more.
Yeah.
So why is mine just sitting? Oh, it's like little yes, I guess, but yours is like a big up, a big, big yes. Okay.
Could that be in relation to other beings that we have bred with? So
So I guess or the first question is, does 12 strands of DNA pertain to pure humans? Big answer. I'm gonna pull up my pendulum a little bit so we can see better. But yours is like really big yes, right, for yours?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the next question would be, does more than 12 strands pertain to hybrid humans that are hybridized with other beings? Cool. I'm getting a pretty big yes for that too. Interesting. Something I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, same.
What other questions related to DNA should we? Okay. Did we ask about if the Stargate's encoded into our DNA? Is our Stargates encoded in our DNA? Okay. Thank you. The question I want to ask is not a yes or no question, so we need to reframe it as a yes no question or ask a series of questions that get there. And that is, oh, actually, maybe this is a yes or no question, and that is simply, no, I'm losing the question. I want it to be something like us activating our frequency activating. Do we have to vibrate at a certain frequency in order to activate the Stargate?
I'm getting a big yes.
Big
Yes, yes.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question.
Oh, very big yes.
You gotta calm that one down. Um, does every Stargate have the same frequency?
Mine's saying no.
Yeah, I'm getting a no as well. Okay. So I watched a video today that it was somebody who channels a particular um, entity from another reality, and it was describing how space travel works. So this is kind of related to Stargates and all of this stuff. But so it was this he described how um, space travel works in that how he described it was like with a spacecraft that you allow the spacecraft to resonate at a particular frequency, and the frequency that it's resonating at is wherever it is that you want to go, even if it's a planet, thousands and thousands of light years away. You just have to have the spaceship resonate at that particular frequency, and then boom, then the spaceship then ends up in the frequency of that particular target of where it's going. Now, what was also interesting is that this person was also talking about how alien entities, for lack of a better word, but other beings that are not Earth from Earth, when you reach a certain level of consciousness, that you are which Earth is not quite there yet, but when you reach a certain level of consciousness, you are able to travel like that, as in you are able to just kind of dial in to the frequency or wherever it is that you want to go, and then you end up there. And so this is, I feel like this is sort of relating to the stargates and then talking about the stargates being encoded in our DNA. So then that means that we are actually able to, you know, do that physically.
I guess that leads to the belief of, while I don't like the term, I'm going to use it because it's the generalized, it's star seeds,
Okay.
uh, which marries up to what you're saying about other beings. I personally do believe we have bred with other beings, absolutely. But I would differ. There are in humanity that do have all those potentials to travel. Um, you've got the Atlanteans, the Lyrans, Pleiadians. Uh, they had these abilities and they brought it to humanity because they bred with humanity. So I do believe most humans are hybrids.
Yeah, by this point, definitely.
And the dreaded reptilians, draconians. Um, so I think we already have that ability. I don't think it's something that we have to build up to. I think it's already here.
Well, yeah, I believe that it's here too, but the building up to it, it just comes back to our discussion about humor and gratitude. It's allowing your frequency to be such that you access those abilities. Because if you're down in the lower vibration, fear and guilt or even anger, any of those low vibrational things, you're not going to be able to access your higher abilities.
Yeah, and I think we've had a major elevation since the equinox. Those that are on the right path, I think, have had a massive shift up in frequency. I think we're getting so close, so close as a collective. Yes, there are individuals that can already, I believe, travel through stargates, but they're very selective and very few. But as a collective, I think we're so close. I really do.
Or getting at least halfway there, I would say. I actually haven't, maybe we're closer. I know that collectively, we're waking up at a rapid rate, even on a day
Yeah,
to day basis. Um, but recently, this is the same one that was talking about the Stargates, also was talking about the number 144,000 and
yeah.
what that meant. You watched that video, right?
Yeah. I watched that. I'm in two minds over numbers. I wouldn't hyper focus on there's only this amount that are awake. We don't know.
Yeah.
We can't go around the world and I think there's more. I think there's a lot more. And I think part of the system is to make us believe there's not as many
Mm.
awake, hence why everything they're amping up. The chemtrailing, the wars, fuel shortage, food shortage, all that fun stuff. Because there are much more awake. I think more than what they want us to understand. I agree with it, but I would just differ over how many.
Right, right. Yeah. Do you think we're there already?
I think we're close, close, close.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, the experience I had over the last week, um, I know where I'm at, and I am miles above where I was 4 weeks ago.
Wow. Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
that's beautiful.
yeah, it has. It particularly the last 8 days have been beautiful. I've seen and experienced frequency, colors, and understanding that 12 months ago I would have gone, that is woohoo. But I know it's true and real, and I sincerely believe with my whole heart we're close.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
really are. The good years are almost on the doorstep. So that's why my gratitude is elevated because I can see how close things are. They want us to feel distressed that the numbers aren't there because then we come back down,
right.
and our gratitude and our humour and all those amazing qualities of humanity dull down. So we've got to ignore all that, trust ourselves. We are being elevated, and believe it. It's on the doorstep.
Pretty much. And, with time not really existing, past, present, future is all in the now, then that future
Yeah,
that is coming already exists. And all we have to do is to have gratitude, have humor, stay elevated so that we
yeah.
can ground in that future that we want to bring into the now.
Ah,
Um,
most definitely. Uh, we just got to believe that we are these amazing beings with all these potentials, regardless that we're hybrids or we're pure. We're all pure, pure, pure at heart.
we're pure source.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it's a combination of pure humanity or Atlanteans, Lemurians, we're all here to usher in the most amazing time. And like your little one, they already know this.
Yeah.
They're just growing, getting their bodies ready because they know it's here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, you just reminded me of like her energy level and she just wants to play all the time and I mean she can't crawl or walk or anything yet. She's getting very close to building up to that, but she just like gets in her playpen and is just the legs are moving and she's moving so fast that I just can't help but think about like the energy that she's vibrating at.
She's probably with her legs moving, she's probably in other dimensions. She can see. So she's probably doing stuff already.
Oh my God, no doubt. No doubt she's traveling places.
But stargates, yes, they're real. Star forts, they're real. You know, um, as you and I, Sarah, we've Googled satellite Google, and you can see star forts.
Yeah.
Get them Google satellite. They're trying to hide them, but they're there,
Yeah,
and they're
absolutely.
always near water. And I think star forts are here to act as an energy source for us, which connects to that DNA that we have in us, that frequency, everything interlocks. And those star thoughts will tap into our DNA, which increase our energy source, which elevates us. So then we're going to be at the highest frequency that we're meant to be.
Yeah, it's
And the stargates, that's to enable us to interdimensional travel. We won't need aeroplanes or
no.
boats. You just go to your stargate,
There it
and
goes.
you're wherever you are.
Do you think that Stargates, because there's a lot of star forts, or anyone who's new to star forts, you can just do a quick YouTube and you'll find several great podcasts out there that are talking about star forts and whatnot, or, there's a couple books out there too. But, there's hundreds of star forts all over the planet. Generally, they all have a very similar shape, and as you said, they're always near water. Um, but there's also a whole bunch that are supposedly destroyed or hidden, buried, whatnot. For the ones that do exist, that are still established, do you think that there are stargates hidden within them?
Oh, oh, that's a very interesting question.
Hmm.
um, well,
Do we want to ask the pendulum?
oh yeah, I would say that maybe not all, but some, because it would make sense.
Okay, so the question is, do stargates exist in current star forts? Pretty big guess.
Yep, yep, not gonna dispute that.
Okay, I have another question, which is, do stargates, where there are destroyed or buried star forts, are there buried stargates as well? Okay, now I have another question. And that is, are do you have to have a certain frequency to view the stargates? Getting a no for that one. How about you?
I'm getting a yes.
Are you?
Hmm.
Maybe my question wasn't clear. Um,
Maybe it depends on whether it's an outright stargate or a stargate within a star fort.
okay, so let's ask the first question. If it is a stargate inside a star fort, do you have to have a certain frequency to view it?
Now I'm getting a no.
Yeah, I'm getting a no for that. Okay, thank you. If it is a stargate that is where there was a destroyed fort, or where there is a destroyed fort, do you have to have a certain frequency to view it?
Getting a yes.
Okay, I'm getting a no
Big
for
yes.
that one.
I'm getting a big yes.
Okay, my question's not so great then.
Oh, no, no, no,
Well,
no.
no, it just
Maybe,
means there's like it's not a clear question, perhaps.
yeah, and maybe there's more to it than what we understand at this point.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's not so black and white as I'm putting it, perhaps.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
maybe there's a missing piece of the puzzle. Ooh, this might have to be another ponder session.
I'm going to do a little bit of deep diving into that one, I think, because
Yeah, it's really got
that's
me like asking so many questions. Like I know that there's more to the Stargates, to the Star Forts. There's so much more, like you said, than we understand.
oh, I got chills.
Like there's so much more to understand to it. Um,
Yeah, big chill, big
and we
chills.
have to remember that they're also related somehow to the ley lines. And that's kind of where I was getting, because I'm having this physical idea of a Stargate, like how it's presented in the TV series. But then I also think about, when you have a crossing of ley lines and you create portal spaces and vortexes, which to my naked eye, I can't see. And so therefore,
I see him quite clearly, and I feel him too.
I can feel them, but I can't really, like, I don't see any sort of visual. Now, maybe if I took a picture, I might be able to see them through that,
For
but
me, that's the best way. It depends of the setting too. I went out into a forest and I could see him with the naked eye because there's less interference, from 5G towers and power lines.
oh, no,
I
that's an
think,
interesting point. So with the 5G, so as the Earth continues to wake up and elevate in her frequency, and her ley lines, her meridians, her energy veins essentially are reactivated, balanced, and cleared out, then obviously the energy that's being emitted by them is just increasing and increasing. And as we know, the dark forces they've known that this time has been
yeah,
coming for a long time. And what you just said about going into the forest and not having interactions from 5G, the 5G is there to cause interference for the resonance
yeah.
of the earth.
Well, let's just say over the last way, been very lucky to have experienced new information. We're all very concerned about 5G and the effects of it because it is a very low frequency that distorts. Well, the good news is, from my understanding of information that I was given, we can harmonize the 5G, we can flip it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we can
The
invert
more
all the
as
energy,
a
right?
collective that we are awakening and our elevated frequency, we can convert it and make it a harmonious frequency. So I don't think we need to live in fear of 5G because that's part of 5G's powers too, is its frequency adds sphere into our thought, into our thinking. So we're giving away our power and our healthy frequency, understanding that, nope, we can flip it, we can harmonize it, takes away the fear and the power of 5G, which takes away the dark forces' power.
And that is
So we
simply
don't
with
need to, yeah.
it's simply with
Um,
intention.
I was actually sat outside and when I was getting all of this understanding, and I had a lot of trees. And the moment I started processing this thought of flipping 5G, the birds came from nowhere. I recorded them. It was like a symphony of birds chirping in. So I knew
Mm.
that information was right
Yeah.
because the birds, I know it sounds cuckoo, but the birds validated.
When did 5G start to become a thing? What year?
Ah, oh,
Feel like
gee.
that's a quick question for Google, but
Yeah, Google. Was it 4 years ago? 5 years ago? Like,
yeah, it's sounding about
ev
right. When
Yeah,
did
2020, when the fun years
did
kicked in, shall we say?
5G come out? Let's see. Let's see what Google AI has to say. Yeah, 5G technology officially launched in March of 2019 with the first
Yeah.
commercial networks going live in South Korea and the US, and then global rollout accelerated throughout 2020.
I think there's a lot of propaganda
With a major
to
carrier
5G.
being Canada.
Oh, there you
Interesting.
go.
Yeah.
Well done, Canadians.
Well, yeah. I mean, we have a lot of natural resources here, right? So, a lot of
Oh,
nature, like massive, massive amounts of
yeah.
land that, the population of Canada compared to its landmass is just crazy.
It almost mirrors Australia, Canada. I know Canada's bigger than Australia. Am I right? I am no good with
Oh
geography,
yeah, well,
folks.
Canada outside of the USSR, when USSR was a thing, or Russia, whatever, it's the landmass of Canada is like the second largest in the world.
Yeah.
So the world that we know
But
anyway.
it's very shares a lot of similarities to Australia. Heavy in minerals and rare minerals, mining, all that good stuff. Not, and we're all part of the Five Eyes nations: Canada, Australia, France, America, and England. Is that
Mm.
correct?
Yeah, and well, in particular, Canada and Australia are part of the Commonwealth, which then includes the UK,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. So, yeah,
Whatever
we
that
have
means, the Commonwealth.
yeah, well, we're not common, we're precious.
There you go. Oh man, we just breached on like a bunch of topics, but it's curious about 2019 because that's been uh wait no 1 second. So, as a chemist and I was in my PhD, I had an opportunity to go to Boulder, Colorado in 2019. And the reason why I was and it's the university, it's funny enough, I think it's called the Colorado University of Mines or Mines University. I can't quite remember the name of it anyway, but there's Boulder's a relatively small area in Colorado. But so I went there as part of a school kind of trip, but not really a school trip. It was a university wide school, and it was for uh, green chemistry and clean energy or something along those lines, which I had a massive interest in when I was doing my PhD, was the fact about being, better to the environment and, just the need to have cleaner technologies from a chemical perspective, because a lot of the chemical reactions that we do use very, very harsh chemicals. They're expensive, they're toxic, all of that. And then you look at nature, and nature does the most complex, amazing chemical reactions, and it does it in water. like, and we haven't untapped it. Now, since leaving chemistry, one thing that I think has a major role to play is frequency, which is kind of where we're talking about the stargates and their star forts and us elevating our particular frequency, and in particular sound. Uh, sound, sound and chemistry is basically an untapped market within the academic sense, but in terms of nature, it's something that goes on. So why am I bringing up this? It just, for some reason, my time in Boulder, Colorado keeps on popping into my brain the last like several weeks, and I haven't been able to figure out why. And then you mentioned about 5G and being able to flip the frequency of that. And then it just like all clicked in because I have noticed a change in my reality, the world that I live in, my own personal frequency has shifted. And I thought it was 2020, but it felt like it came before that. And it was coming from 2019.
Yeah, yeah, 2019. And that is interesting because a lot of stuff on like YouTube or Google when I'm looking up things, 2019 keeps coming up. And old YouTube videos, 2019.
Hmm.
So there's something quite big about 2019 that consciousness is wanting us to revisit. I think there's something very informative there that we're meant to be noticing
Hmm.
to help us right now.
Interesting. Well, one thing could be the 5G because, you talked
We
about us
can,
harmonize it and all of that. But yeah, oh, I feel like that's another episode to dive into. Why 2019? Maybe we'll ask
yeah,
the rods next time.
yeah, I think it's to do with the next stage of energy war on humanity was 2019. Um, you look at the world of the internet, 2019, what came in, that was really when they really started flooding with all things AI.
Yeah, I mean, AI had been around a lot longer than that. That's just when the
Yeah,
public
and there's
became into
a
knowing.
lot of misconception as to what AI is, artificial intelligence. It is programs. It is not an intelligence. Um,
Again, it's a fear thing, right?
it is. I'm very grateful to my
Ooh,
dad.
grateful, grateful.
Yeah, he was an electrical engineer. And he used to explain to me in great detail the propaganda that was happening on robots, AI. They're, they're not intelligence, they are just programs and they need humans. And they're trying to tell us it's an intelligence that is superior to us. We created it.
Yeah.
Well, other things created it, I suppose, really. But yeah, it's not an intelligence. So therefore, we don't need to fear it. I
And it's
think we
not an
can,
intelligence in the sense because it doesn't have the source spark. So it's gonna lack creativity. It can only take from what it already knows, which, as you said, is the programming, what has been programmed into it. And it can just
yeah,
take this and this and muddle it all up. And it's kind of like, it's almost like it just memorizes all of the current knowledge that has been
yeah,
inputted into it, which is basically everything on the internet. And
yeah,
it reminds me of when I was teaching students when they're like learning chemistry. And there's hundreds and hundreds of chemical reactions out there. And I remember when I first took organic chemistry, I had like a stack of index cards with all the different chemical reactions, and I was trying to memorize them. And that was before I really understood chemistry. And, I went on later to do a PhD and everything, so whatever. um, but the key is you have to memorize, but with understanding. And I think that's what the AI lacks is it can spit out the information. It has access to all of the information, but it doesn't have discernment and understanding that goes with it. It just has what sounds good, if you know what I mean.
it doesn't have a moral compass. It
Yeah.
only has a program. I think we can use it. That there's nothing wrong with having it,
I mean,
but
disclaimer, our background is AI generated.
yeah, but as long as we don't allow the dark forces, the government, whatever, um, to let it take over humanity.
So you think there is a point in which it can, quote unquote, take over?
Um, I don't think it can take over humanity. It can be used as a to control us, if we allow it. Because we've got to remember it can take control of this whole thing as a collective. That movie is a ants, with all the little ants. I'm not sure if it's a Disney or
Oh, the
whatever.
Pixar movie? I think it was
Yeah,
Pixar.
yeah, that one where what are they, cockroaches or grasshoppers control the little ants, and then one ant realized how mighty it was and how, as a collective, those cockroaches needed the ants. The ants didn't need the cockroach. While I don't watch films, I've seen bits of it and I'm there, oh, that's our story, humanity's.
Yeah.
And they're mocking us by putting across as insects.
Yeah.
We are those ants. Look how powerful ants are.
Oh,
The
yeah.
tiny little things. And when they all work together, they can move a lot of earth.
Well, not even to
That
mention that they can, like, I've seen a single ant carry two dead ants on its back, by itself.
and they communicate and they have quite a complex world. That's us. That's why they made that movie, to laugh at us. But yeah, in relation to AI, we can use it minimally and in the right places
Yeah, as a tool.
as a tool. Yeah. To me, like our background, that is beautiful, but it will never, ever be better than a hand-drawn one,
Absolutely.
because that has come from the mind, the thought.
No, for sure. Well, what ground we've covered again in today's episode. From gratitude to stargates and, you know, different, other beings that are out there to AI. Whew. We have traveled far and wide across the dimensions.
With a lot of gratitude, to be grateful for the fact that we can.
Absolutely. Yeah, for
Free
sure.
will, what we have, and that's what also remember, we do have free will. And have gratitude for having free will and joy and humor and love and compassion. Let's just bring all that out in bucket loads.
Absolutely. So, the challenge from last week's episode was to challenge folks to take a moment a day to do something fun, something that
Yeah.
lifts your spirit that you absolutely enjoy. And so, I guess we add another one to that is daily acts of gratitude, even if it's for just in the moment, like, you know, earlier I spoiled myself and I had a root beer. I just had a nice, really disgusting for you sweet soda, but it made me happy. And I am grateful that I have the free will to be able to enjoy that soda, once in a while. I usually just drink water, but I just, you just want a little taste of something good.
Every now and then we do. I like occasionally, and funny enough, I had one last night, was ginger beer. And that is pretty much sugar and water, but um gratitude, yeah. Funny enough, gratitude comes up a lot for me, particularly when I go grocery shopping. Um, there's a lot of people who have difficulty moving around since 2020, and I see a lot of people just walking. They've got walking frames, and that's not the elderly either, you know. And I look and I go, I am so grateful I made the decisions that I did in 2020. It was a bit of a rough ride, but I am so grateful I did that because I look at these poor people with their difficulties now and I feel very grateful.
Yeah.
And in saying that, all these people having these difficulties, help them, offer to open a door. If they're at the shops buying fruit and veg, unfortunately, from the supermarket, not everyone has farmers markets. So you've got to do the next best thing. Help them to put the fruit in the bag and in their trolley and be grateful because you're able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note as well, it's like being grateful, myself personally anyway, grateful that, with the cost of living and everything, I know that there's many families out there that are struggling to put
Yeah,
not just food on the table, but good, healthy food on the table as well. And so it's recognizing, as you said earlier, what you have and being grateful for the life that you have.
yeah,
Um, and if you can, lend a hand to help others. It's one of the best
yeah.
things you can do, which is to
Um,
be of service to humanity.
exactly. And if you're like my generation or even older, understanding food and how to be economic with food, how to make it go further. Pass that bit of information on to younger families. Even some double income families are struggling, to get good meals on the table. Do not buy that nasty junk food. That is to make you ill and to dull you down. Look, we all have our little indulgences, but junk food is made so cheap that you eat it all the time and you're not putting nutrition into your body. Our physical bodies do need nutrition
Yeah. I
to
mean,
function.
I feel like we could go even longer on this episode if we keep going with that, but it just with the junk food and, how it's there to, to turn a profit essentially.
Yeah.
What I've noticed even, you have, the thing called shrinkflation where you're paying the same amount, but now the package is smaller. But I have noticed with certain products that the quality or the amount that you're getting is also, compromised so that they can turn a buck faster. And one of
Yeah.
the things is like simple, like jarred spaghetti sauce. Like, I opened up a jar of spaghetti sauce the other day and it was all water. Like there wasn't any consistency to it at all. I'm like, I remember this same jar of spaghetti 5, 10 years ago having so much more flavor and so much more consistency to it. So it's very clear that companies just keep
Yeah.
adding stuff that shouldn't be in and diluting everything such that they can maximize their profits.
I hope we can do one whole podcast on food because that is something I'm passionate about.
Yeah, given your background.
I'm a retired chef, studying nutrition and dietetics. Even though that's all inverted, you still get some knowledge and understanding from it. I think maybe if we could just have a podcast and just help people to understand how to feed the body nutrition in this world full of junk.
Yeah,
so to
I'm all for
speak.
learning
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, my pet peeve is canned food. Um, the stuff they line, the canned food is lined because the contents inside has citric acid, which is done by Monsanto. It's nasty. That eats through the can. That's why they've got a liner with some inside so the citric acid doesn't eat through. Now you're going to put that in your body. If that eats tin, what's it doing to your insides?
That's always the question, huh? Okay, well, we don't want to start another episode right now, so let's wrap things up and come back. We started to come back full circle, and then we started another conversation. So,
Yeah, sorry.
no, I'm sure that it was meant to come through for whatever reason. Maybe it's just a teaser for
Yeah.
what's to come. Do you have any closing thoughts for today?
Yeah. Which is just repeating what you said. Take a moment each day for reflection of gratitude. While it is a bit bumpy at the moment, be very grateful that we're here to bear witness to the rising of humanity and the reclaiming of this wonderful realm that we live in and co-inhabit with so many other beings. It's not just us. And when we elevate and we start to see all the other beings, oh my goodness, what a realm we're going to be in.
I know I am so excited for
Yeah.
the true reality to no longer be hidden behind an illusion.
Yeah. Yeah. Just think, the myriad of other beautiful beings.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, everyone, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know Estelle and I sure did, traversing the many, many realms that we talked about today in different topics. If you would like to be a guest and come talk to us about As You See, absolutely anything, we are totally open. So you can just email us at the Oracle Soul podcast at gmail.com, or you can check out, we do have a little web page, although there's not a lot happening on there at the moment other than it is just a web page. But you can check us out and let us know. You can leave a comment as well, like, subscribe, all that good stuff to show us that you enjoyed this content. We know that we enjoy producing the content and having these conversations, and we look forward to more and more conversations, not just with Estelle and I, but also talking to wonderful people as well. So, again, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Remember to have a little bit of humor, a little bit of gratitude every day to help elevate your frequency and who you are ultimately to be the best version of you, which is why we're here to help everyone do that. And with that, I just hope everyone has a wonderful day filled with love and happiness. And until next time, we will see you.